this part in the program to really give someone who's been, I guess, on both sides, has had a chance to participate in the trenches and do the level of work and participate in this activity in profound ways, but also now has enough time away from the activity to appropriately reflect and be able to give us some words of wisdom. I don't know if they would say they'd be words of wisdom, but we're going to cross our fingers and hope that. Like I said, each year we invite a retired key coach to share reflections on an educational career and forensic art prior to inviting new key members into the Key Coach Society. We are honored to have one of the most successful coaches in history as our speaker today. The person that I get the honor and the privilege of introducing is none other than David Baker, coach of debate for 16 years. There's some people in the room that may not be that old. For 16 years at St. Mark's School of Texas prior to his appointment as their current director of admissions. His debate teams won the high school national championship in 1990, and under his leadership, St. Mark's Debate was named one of the 10 most successful programs of the 20th century. And David was elected to the National Speech and Debate Association Hall of Fame. He has served as longtime faculty member at the Dartmouth Debate Institute, and he is the primary educational consultant for the International Public Policy Debate Forum at New York University. You are in for a treat today. We like none other. Some people do this. With that, y'all give it up for none other than the great, the awesome David Baker.
Well, I wonder what's going to happen now. Just go anywhere, Kevin. I know you've got dorm room lobbies to find. So, because I have thought many times about selling a map for those things. I know where they all are. Morning. Morning. It is a privilege to be here today to participate in the celebration of Melissa's many years of service to both high school and college debate communities. And over the many years of service and friendship, she has inspired and challenged me countless times. I suspect all of us could easily recount any number of times that Melissa has positively influenced our lives. I hope that you will pick at least one and share it with her over the weekend. For the rest of you, if you've got good stories, please share them with the key coaches. We need ammunition for the messenger dinner tonight. Well done, Melissa. Well done. In 1980, I became the coach of debate at Charles Page High School in Sand Springs, Oklahoma. 4 years later, I accepted the position as debate coach at St. Mark's School of Texas in Dallas, Texas. And for a total of 20 years, I had the privilege to coach some remarkable students, and I was equally privileged to learn from a fraternity of coaches that included some of the most gifted teachers this activity has ever known. We did not always agree, but the coaching community of the 80s and the 90s were united in a fierce belief in the integrity of this activity, and I am comforted knowing that this generation of coaches shares that same commitment. After accepting the position at St. Mark's as director of admission, I still had a little bit of debate business on my plate. When I retired from coaching, I had worked for Tim Strange at the Dartmouth Juniors and Dartmouth Debate Institutes for 16 summers. My wife, Lori, continued to work at DDI and the juniors for a few additional years. And one summer, shortly after I retired from coaching, I flew to New Hampshire to be with Lori and my kids for the last few weeks of the Institute. We'd rented a really lovely house on a farm in Vermont, just across the river from Hanover. So only 2 short years after being removed from the glory days of debate coaching, I was in Hanover at the DDI with absolutely nothing to do. So I went fishing. I fished most of the morning and a good bit of the afternoon, and my success made me late to meet Lori at the dorm, so clothed in jeans, a t-shirt, floppy hat, flops, and smelling like fish,
jumped in the car for the quick trip over to Hanover. I pulled into the parking lot just as 3 young Institute shaved tails wandered toward the dorm. It seemed none of the 3 had remembered their outside door key, and they were unable to get in. Finally, one of them noticed me and asked if I had a key. I told him I did not. He wandered around a little longer and finally caught the attention of someone inside who opened the door for the group. And as they entered, the boy mused loudly enough for me to hear, "Geez, you'd think the damn janitor would have a key to the door." My glory days in debate were officially over. I barely resisted the temptation to reply, "Got a key, you little jerk. A gold one from Emory University. You don't even have a key to the door." Needless to say, I'm no longer connected to the day-to-day issues of high school and college debate. I get my news through friends, the St. Mark's debate team, and a clinical obsession with iDebate Tavern. My network of friends who are active coaches is getting smaller too. I'm going to a lot of retirement events these days. Kim Strang, Lynn Ferguson, today, of course, Melissa. As my generation of coaches retires and a new generation comes of age, I'm excited and comforted by your talent and your leadership. While my news sources are becoming more limited, I still hear things. And I know debate is facing a number of challenges and a number of controversies. Late last spring in New York, Melissa asked me to come here today to deliver a pep talk. She said the ideological divide in our activity was growing and coaches needed to hear a healing message. I wouldn't presume that my words can heal anything, especially since it's likely that my initials are carved in some of those controversies. While it's unquestionably true that competitive debate is and has faced a number of challenges, it's worth noting that those challenges are nothing new. History of this activity is filled with ideological divides. Debate about debate is nothing new. It seems to me the greater challenge is not resolving those differences in our activity, but rather making sure that our activity is able to endure the inevitable periods of change and challenge. Through it all, the integrity of our activity remains strong. I do not know all of you, but those in this generation that I do know are people of character, coaches who understand that it is now their turn to protect this precious and uniquely valuable activity. Our collective integrity is an unrelenting commitment to and a belief in a process. We feel it much more clearly than we can define it, but with great accuracy we can tell who has it and who doesn't. It is an unrelenting commitment to free and open and ethical discussion bounded only by an agreed format and common topic, none of which needs to be written down, discussed, or codified in any way. You know what it is, and you know why it matters. We have challenges within our activities, we always have. Those challenges are not a threat. Those conversations are hard and sometimes hurtful. Sometimes those conversations are frustrating and discouraging, but our activity will be stronger for the effort. In these conversations, we must resist the clarion call to false heroics that are so popular in the broader culture, where interest groups pick their facts, spin their perspectives, demonize the opposition, and vow allegiance to groups rather than issues. For debate to have the impact that it must have, the credibility of our activity is everything. As former Senator Alan Simpson once said, if you have integrity, nothing else matters. If you don't have integrity, nothing else matters. My affinity for debate is well known, but maybe less known is my affection for the wit and wisdom of St. Dr. Feynman was making a point about the need for absolute integrity in scientific research. I believe it's accurate to summarize this message as what it looks like is nowhere near as important as what it is. We're unhappy with what debate's become, and we want debate to look like something we remember from a past era. We can do that. Our governing organizations can make rules, issue edicts, punish evil arguers. We can make debate look exactly the way we want it to, but the planes won't land. Defending the integrity of our activity is not about rules. It's about a common commitment to integrity. It's about a commitment to integrity that emanates from our souls. I'm no longer in this arena, but you are. wrestle these issues to the ground, talk and debate about them, and make our activities stronger. Honest disagreements, differing visions do not threaten our integrity, they prove we have it. Asking hard questions about ourselves is integrity. What it looks like is not nearly as important as what it is. You don't have to look very far to see the impact of debates that lack integrity. Sitting at a red light on my way to school one morning, I noticed that the bumper stickers on the two cars in front of me, the car on the left had a sticker proclaiming Mom, God, Apple Pie, Choice. While the sticker on the car on the right read, it's not a choice, it's a life. Debate over. Driving home from Hanover one summer, I noticed the bumper stickers on the two cars in front of me as well. One had a picture of an assault rifle and the caption said, "Come and get it." The other sticker had an animated picture of a large grizzly bear holding an assault rifle and the caption read, "Defend your right to arm bears." What was I supposed to do with this information? Did the come and get it driver expect me to pull over at the next exit and buy an assault weapon? Was I supposed to say, wow, I was really on the fence about whether people ought to be able to take out an entire city block with an Uzi, but now that I've seen your sticker. Did the driver of the It's Not a Choice car expect me to honk in support, join them in a protest rally, or any of these messages designed to inform or persuade? In both cases, neither driver could see the bumper of the other car. These two debates occurred without either side knowing it was happening, which reminds me a lot of the debates I've been watching on television during this political season. Our national political debates are usually nothing more than long bumper stickers delivered orally in a format that pretty much guarantees that nothing resembling a debate will happen. People in this room should be offended that bumper sticker press conference ad hominem candidate collisions are even called debates. They're not debates, and we all know it. Putting a sticker on your car and saying you believe it is a world away from the reasoned discourse you teach, practice, and trust. I believe the quality of political debate in our country is near a low ebb, and I believe it pollutes many other forms of discourse. I'm frustrated with the quality of debate in our country. I suspect many of you are too. I'm frustrated that reasoned discourse has become a nostalgic relic in a world where distort, spin, repeat is the accepted formula for winning arguments. I'm frustrated with the utter lack of integrity in our political conversations. If you don't like the direction the evidence is pointing, pass a law to ban research on it. Or just deny the scientific facts altogether. And if all else fails, coordinate a comprehensive effort to disenfranchise the people who may not agree, selling thinly veiled hate as patriotic duty. When national political philosophy becomes little more than popular fashion, voices are silenced, peer review is lacking, tolerance is tested, mistakes are made. In a democracy predicated on free dissemination of ideas and grounded in the value of open and fair debate, this behavior is beyond scurrilous. It is, in my view, disingenuous and unpatriotic. These are lessons we should remember and warnings we should heed as we examine ourselves and our activity. In these times of political turmoil, hatefulness, intolerance, and really, really bad debates, I find comfort in this room. I find comfort in your integrity. You are saving the world one graduating senior class at a time. You are sending into the world groups of young adults who are committed to the notion of argumentative integrity. You train some of the finest, brightest, and most intellectually honest students in the nation, and the nation and the world needs them. Of course, debate goes through cycles of growth and retraction. Debate is growing internationally, gaining traction in a variety of formats, and opportunity is expanding into new communities. Please do not be discouraged. We need you to continue to push back against the herd of awful, disingenuous blowhards who are pandering to our darkest tendencies rather than challenging our highest ideals. You are sending students in the world who can and will employ the integrity you taught them to improve the quality of our national conversation. I recommend for your encouragement and satisfaction the proceedings of the third National Development Conference on Debate, titled Navigating Opportunity, Policy Debate in the 21st Century, edited by Alan Loudon and, by the way, featuring a paper by Melissa Wade. Debaters are doing wonderful things, and the testimonials in Navigating Opportunity will inspire you to continue the fight and to continue to have hard conversations with each other about our activity and what we can do to make it better. Legions of former debaters are applying the integrity you taught them to the issues of our day. And while political candidates are deciding which ethnic group to insult next, or whether citizens should have the right to arm themselves with tanks, our students are grappling with actual issues of tremendous significance, and they are doing so with the integrity that you taught them. In a recent article, Pulitzer Prize-winning author Annie Applebaum suggested that Mark Zuckerberg should commit his $45 billion personal philanthropy budget to undoing the damage Facebook has done to public discourse and debate. Surprisingly, her suggestion did not explicitly include a token billion-dollar donation to the National Debate Coaches Association, an oversight that I quickly corrected in an email to her. Probably on a list somewhere now. Not that I wasn't before. Fixing our American debate problem starts and ends with all of you, because there's nobody else to do it. Nobody has the ground-up perspective to teach children how to approach issues with integrity. We need a safe environment for people to think, reason, and maybe change their minds. Discussion and debate's all we have. We can laugh all we want at people we think are tragically uninformed. It's entertaining, but mockery doesn't create a safe environment for reason. Empowering reason is our students gives us the best chance to improve the quality of American debate. And I'm sure that many of my own views are leaking through the speech like a sieve, but we're not asking for surrender, we're asking for a better process, and we need to affirm our integrity and our trust in each other to make that happen and to broaden our vision. We do need to bring our expertise to the conversation. We're uniquely qualified to do that. The application of these principles to our internal conversations and conflicts is appropriate and necessary. As a result of my retirement from debate, I've had the opportunity to become more involved in other formats, including the International Public Policy Forum, Urban Debate, World Schools Debate, privately sponsored public debates. I sit on a couple of boards that do charitable work for debate, and I'm joined in that effort by a number of former debaters, coaches, and some current coaches, all of whom are committed to creating opportunity in debate and committed to the intellectual integrity of debate. They've got your back. There are lots of us out there, former coaches, former students, who are working with urban schools, organizing public debates, promoting good debate in a variety of other areas. We trust you. Please trust each other. After my coaching days were done, I went back to graduate school at Southern Methodist University. I remember a particular class in which we were reading Thucydides and a section of the history titled The Melian Dialogue. This is the story of the Athenian army presenting a fait accompli to the citizens of the island nation of Melos. Essentially, surrender and become slaves, or resist and die. It is a fairly straightforward study of right versus might. As a dialogue, the text is especially interesting because of the unique back and forth nature of the text. So you already know how I wrote my paper. I flowed the debate and wrote a 6-page ballad. The inexorable logic of power, a graphical argument analysis, was the result. My professor thought it was genius. I didn't think it was genius, but I did think it was probably the best flow I'd ever taken. Some might say it's the only flow. My professor wanted me to enter the paper in a graduate school writing contest, but I declined because I was too afraid that some of you might see it and I would be made fun of. The point is that even the most basic and elementary analytical skills we teach our students are often light years ahead of everything else they're being taught. These are students who know that lighting the torches and putting on coconut shells are not going to make the planes land. They understand that something else that is so clearly missing from our broader national debate. They and you understand integrity. They are our best hope, and you are their best hope. God bless you.